Hi everyone, Religious Fanboy here again, and today we are discussing Erased episode 8 titled Spiral. The themes that we will be talking about are the importance of having good intentions and doing what is right regardless of the consequences. The verse for today is from John 13, specifically verse 34, which I will read in the using the ESV English Standard Version, which says, "A new commandment I give to you, that you love one another just as I have loved you. You also are loved. That I have loved you. You also are to love one another." In this episode, we see aspects of selfless love by many of the characters, such as Sachiko's mother, almost motherly love and support when taking care of Kyle for the few days that Kyle is living at their house after they had discovered that the kidnapper had been operating and keeping some of his stuff in the old equipment bus that Kyle had been staying in to hide her from the kidnapper. And we also see these things of and the idea of doing what's right regardless of consequences in the conversation that kind of going off of the conversation that Kenya and Satoru had on the overpass in episode 7, where they talked about how Satoru's mother would feel about what they were doing. And we get our answer to how she would respond in when they do take Kyle to Satoru's house. And you see a very interesting moment where it looks like to Kyle that Sachiko is gonna reprimand Satoru, and this was also something Satoru was worried about, but Sachiko was proud of them and did what she could to also help take care of Kaio. And we even see how she was able to be helpful and still be loving towards her without fully understanding the situation where she had went out of her way to prepare a meal for Kyle, and this is contrasted. That Satoru and Kyle and Kenya's actions are contrasted with something that Yashiro says in regards to Satoru and people, either Satoru or Satoru or Sachiko, asking Yashiro if it would be a good idea to get police involved, where he pauses and said that he wouldn't want to open up a can of worms, and there's a pause where, and then he says, for someone else. I i really hope that it is implied that there's a spoiler warning on all of my videos, because there's stuff like what I just talked about that doesn't reveal things about later episodes, but does heavily imply things. So I do highly recommend this episode. There is few scenes where there is brief nudity for one scene. Nothing is shown, but besides that, I highly recommend this episode and the show as a whole. I've really enjoyed talking about this show, you guys. Before I close out the video, just wanting to talk about some two interesting things I found in the lexicon and lexicon research and the commentaries as I did prep for this video. Um, the, the Greek word that is translated to love in John 3, John 13, verse 14 is specifically agape, which is one of the multiple different words for love and different types of love that are given specific words in the Greek language. Agape is a universal love where it is a love for everybody and and in the lexicons it brought up how this is like a term of good can be used to explain doing like working for like doing stuff out of goodwill and humility and a universal like love and compassion for others. And I also thought it was interesting how it also used the idea of a moral love, kind of going along with the ideas of how compassion, which is a form of love where we desire to help and want what's best for people and want to care for people and help people. and how that goes along with ethics and the specifically like Christian ethics as well as in practical ways how and it affects how we should treat the poor and the widows, things that are talked about in the Old Testament when that were culturally viewed as lower class, and in that time where the main source of protection for a group of people is their patriarch in the family, that would be the father figure, or it'd be the ruling figure in a land. And in the Old Testament, it implies that even these people that are cut off, the strangers, widows, and orphans, their person that fulfills that role for them is God, and how in order to be like God, we need to look out for and also do what we can to provide for their needs. The One of the commentaries talked about how in the context of this verse, John is one of the gospels. John is actually the only non-synoptic gospel. The gospels are different interpretations of the life and specifically the ministry of Jesus. And this passage is connected to the story of the Last Supper and Jesus washing the disciples' feet, which, along with this message, also goes along with the idea of the first leader being also the first servant. And we will see other forms of that level of sacrifice and even further forms of sacrifice for the sake of in the pursuit and with the motivation of loving and wanting what's best for other people as we go through and talk about these last 4 episodes in the show of the race. And with that being said, may God be with you, and I will see you next time. Bye.